get those people the heck out of the workforce. That way, all the people who actually like their jobs and want to get it done and want to do a good job can do it without having other people holding them back. I mean, imagine how much more productive we'd be if we let all people who are holding us back just go and watch Netflix all day and eat Doritos at home, you know, and smoke pot. Like imagine if we just let them go and do their thing, and everybody else could be productive members of society. It's like, you know, that's all you really need is just to get rid of those people, and the productivity would immediately start to go up.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
I totally, definitely agree.
I mean, just have jobs out here for people. And just like in Los Angeles, on the Strip and Skip, I don't want to call it Skip Row, but all the homeless people out there, that's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. And we have more homeless people on the street here in Philadelphia than I ever seen before.
I mean, you remember that guy that pissed in the Cheerios or the cornflakes or whatever? I mean, that's not somebody that likes their job. You know, we don't get piss in our cereal from people that like their job, okay? Like, those people need to stay home, all right? I don't want to force anybody into work and doing something they don't want to do. And people need to be more encouraged. And also, if our education system was better, to where people had an opportunity to go out and actually, like, kind of experiment and see what they're good at and see what their talent is, you wouldn't get people trapped in the jobs that they don't like. You know, they would be able to go more into their own field of, like, expertise.
Well, honestly, the person that picks that job, they pick it because they just want to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the kind of work I do, I love doing what I do. So I treated people with respect. With the position I had, doing legal secretary work, working at a law firm. And I'm just sick. I'm just pissed off with customer service, period. With this AI intelligence going on, I'm calling up different companies. I have to call, and you get this woman on the phone you got to talk to and punch in numbers, and you hear her typing. I'm like, they got rid of jobs. Those are jobs. Those are literally jobs.
And the thing is, there's an awful lot of crap jobs out there, and nobody wants to do them.
And
I tell you
who
what,
does them?
Taco Bell,
And you know
$50
who does
an hour, I'd
those?
like to do it.
And you know who does those crappy jobs? Mexicans.
Yeah, but even stuff like working at McDonald's, working a register at a grocery store, I mean, there aren't things anybody's doing because they love doing it. You know, so I think it
No,
comes.
but I see elderly people working at McDonald's. I don't think they loving doing it. That's to
Well,
supplement their
Well, that's the reason.
income.
That's why we need the universal basic income, because if we
Yeah.
switch to that, then all those giant mega billionaire corporations would actually be forced to pay their workers a living wage, you know, and like fair. Well, not even a living wage, but a fair wage, because if they were working there and giving their time, they should be paid properly for the amount of productivity that they're providing, which is way more than what they're being paid for right now. Like whenever I worked at Wendy's and we were like clocking out at the end of the day, and we'd get a glance at the amount of money they made in the day, and the amount of money they make in a month, and how much of that goes to the employees. I mean, it is complete wage theft. I mean, they are taking everything from those employees. And then I just found out today that Wendy's burgers, like their burger patties, are made by prison slaves. Like they take advantage of slave labor. You know, and it's like Starbucks takes advantage of slave labor. It's like I posted, we just got a new Starbucks opening up in my the neighboring town last week or last month, and everyone's been loving it. And I posted on Twitter, it's like, I hope all those people enjoying the new Starbucks really love prison labor and prison slavery, because that's what they're supporting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
'cause
like,
Whole Foods was
Go ahead. Sorry.
Whole Foods was doing it too, but I think they stopped.
No, they still do it. Here, I have a list.
They still doing it?
Damn.
Well, I won't be shopping at them no more.
Star Cooks.
How are they using prison labor? I mean, I worked at Starbucks. I worked at the Sears Tower Starbucks when it first opened, so I'm just curious.
All right, the corporation, famous for its animal welfare rating system, apparently was not as concerned about the welfare of the human animals working for them in Colorado prisons until April of this year. That $12 a pound tilapia you thought you were buying from sustainable American family farms was raised by prisoners in Colorado who were paid as little as 74 cents a day. And that fancy goat cheese, the goats are raised and milked by prisoners too.
Is in
That's
the
Whole
prison?
Foods?
Yeah, that's Whole Foods.
That's
Okay.
in the prison? They raising it?
Yep, they were raising them in the prisons.
Oh, well, I got to throw the fish out I bought.
Oh, just eat the
Australian
fish.
cows.
Don't waste food.
Yeah, those corporations, they go to those prisons and set up shop.
That's a fucking shame. Pay all that damn money. I'm throwing that fish out.
McDonald's uses slave labor. McDonald's benefits greatly because all of their plastic cutlery and the containers and the napkins and the uniforms for their employees, the technology, a lot of that stuff is put to get like the technology is made in China and then put together in the prisons here. And all of the plastic cutlery and containers and stuff and the uniforms are all sewn in prisons. And those people make less money by the hour than the people who actually work in the stores. So,
And that's why they want to keep the prison system going.
Well, here's the thing. I would imagine that whatever unions are involved, with Starbucks or McDonald's or whatever, if this is going on, and Whole Foods, if this is going on, I can't imagine that they don't have class action grievances and lawsuits against that, because that's a clear violation of their contract, I would imagine.
All
Well, wait a
because
minute.
all
Those-
unions
those
work in the
companies-
benefit of their members.
Those companies don't have unions. McDonald's, Starbucks, they don't have unions.
Really?
yeah, they don't
No,
have unions.
They
I
don't.
would have.
They don't have unions. I'm
Jesus
sorry.
Christ.
I worked in McDonald's when I was 15, 16 years old. It wasn't no union. And it's
And
still
Well,
not now.
yeah. When I was there wasn't a union either, but that was back in the early '90s. I would imagine. I thought that McDonald's actually did have a union, and that's why they were fighting for the $15 minimum wage.
No, they don't.
The people stood up to fight for $15
Oh.
minimum wage. It wasn't no unions. It
Yeah,
was
there's
the
no fast
people.
food unions, and Walmart, 90% of the products in Walmart are made by either prison slaves or slaves in another country, and all the
Oh, my God.
vegetables that Walmart has are grown on prison farms where workers are working out in the blazing heat for long hours without adequate food or water.
I wouldn't doubt that.
It's like you can't buy stuff anywhere. I go to basically I do a lot of shopping with the Amish. I have access to in Philadelphia.
I mean, how sad is that you can't even go? You can't find it has like a little store to shop at, let alone go into a store and find an ethical product to buy that isn't made by slave labor or child labor or exploiting resources from exploited people. I mean, it's just there's nothing safe. I mean, it's just like basically move out to the woods wherever Hillary Clinton's at, and then just make your own stuff. I mean, that's basically I feel like where we're at right now. There's nothing safe.
Well, I mean,
it's like
everyone
you
should start making their
support-
own underwear because Victoria's Secret also uses prison slave labor. And
Damn, I gotta throw my Victoria's
Where?
Secret underwear away.
Where?
and
Because I would like to know.
two women prisoners were actually placed in solitary confinement for telling journalists that they were hired to replace "Made in Honduras" tags on the underwear with "Made in USA" tags. So a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Apparently, a
that's
lot of stuff
illegal.
that says it's made in the USA
Well,
is.
that's why my panties fit different from Victoria's Secret, because I said they made differently now. This is crazy.
Like, I really feel like
All right, so and AT&T is great because AT&T, their call centers, if you need customer service, you're going to be answered by a prisoner. They also use prison labor, and their prison laborers get less than $2 a day to work on phone lines.
So you mean if I call up, I'm an AT&T customer, a long time customer. If I call up to them and I could get somebody that's from inside a prison.
Yep, they did that so that they could fire all of their union workers and get rid of the cell phone unions.
Jesus.
Well, you know what? That makes perfect sense, though. It makes perfect sense that Hillary Clinton is back in a $15 minimum wage because she doesn't have to pay anybody $15 minimum wage, and she looks better.
Yeah, just lost my
You don't have to pay the prisoners. Yeah.
I thought she wanted 12. I thought she wanted $12. I thought 15 was too much for Hillary.
Oh yeah, that's right, 12. Yeah, we're not worth 15.
Oh, I thought she had gone to 15 for like a week and then pushed it back.
Well, she has like two opinions, right? So it could be.
Yeah, she has a public and a private position, so you can't really take anything she says seriously anymore.
Right.
She always flip-flop.
Yeah, it was 12.
I can't stand that hussy. I never liked her when she was first lady. I couldn't stand her then. And
BP, British Petroleum Oil Company, whenever they had the Gulf spill back in 2010, they used almost exclusively African American inmates to clean it up.
That's a goddamn shame. You know, and Bill Clinton started that with that fucking crime bill.
Yeah.
We all living this from Bill Clinton era.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted us to vote for her.
Yep, and you all got to come to Hill.
Never forget that picture where he was standing there in front of all those black inmates, dog whistling the fuck out of the people. I mean, oh God, he's gross. They're both
And then Obama with those federal prisoners talking about changing the prison system. You was talking about federal prisoners. What about the state?
Oh, he ain't gonna touch the state. That's where everybody locked up at.
Stone Mountain.
Also, you know how people say Coke or Pepsi? Well, now I guess from now on, everyone should be choosing Coke because Pepsi has prisoners making all the cans for their pop.
Oh, come on, man! I just have two Pepsis right in front of me.
Well, first of all, I wouldn't drink any sodas, Pepsi, Mountain Dew, or Sprite, or anything, because of all the chemicals that are in there. Because I think there's something in there that cleans carpet.
Oh, there is. But it's still cleaner than tap water.
And I used to be a Pepsi lover and went cold turkey off of it. Because that Pepsi did something to my skin. And I've been off of it since.
All right, here's a couple that won't surprise you. Bayer, the medicine company Bayer that just acquired, or that's currently in the process of acquiring Monsanto, they use prison labor to package their pills and put the pills in the bottles and everything. And so does Pfizer, the other pharmaceutical company, and GlaxoSmithKline, another pharmaceutical company. So those three pharmaceutical companies all use prison labor.
Where's the list of this? I want to take a look at this.
The one that I'm looking at right now is on returntonow.net, and if you search for the title, "How Prison Labor is the New American Slavery and Most of Us Unknowingly Support It."
Jesus. All right.
They've been doing that for years. Just Bill Clinton with that crime bill, he just juiced it up. But they've been doing that, been using prisoners for slave labor for decades. Now,
John Deere's a really evil one because their entire business model now, like every single aspect of their business, has become so incredibly evil. Like their tractors and all of that have like if you want to get it serviced, you can't fix it yourself. You have to take it to a special John Deere retailer and pay outrageous amounts of money to get it fixed. And then it's also
they have specialized
special
parts
software that runs it all and it sends all of the data to Monsanto. So Monsanto gets all of the data, like they know when they tell you when to plant and how to plant and all this stuff, and then they get all that information back. And if you don't do anything exactly as they said, then you don't get your subsidies. So you go broke, and they can take your farm from you. And John Deere also uses prison labor to put together the tractors. So.
Well, I know Monsanto was suing farmers because, like, with their little GMO seeds, it had flew on another property, and they said that was their seed. And the farmer guy was like, well, hell, man, the freaking wind probably just blew it over here. And he had to pay them like $30,000. But they've been suing farmers for that stuff. Monsanto.
And really, it's just they're really getting us to buy into it because we're so broke. Most people are so broke that they can do nothing but buy these products that are, made with slave labor. And so we're continuing that system. And then these are the same people that are going to ultimately end up there.
Well, yeah, anyone who drives is supporting it because Shell, BP, Exxon Mobil, Chevron, all of them use prison labor, as well as slaves in other countries to extract the fuels.
Anyone who breathes is supporting slave labor because all of the air conditioners and fans are. I mean, dude, you're depressing me. You really are.
I'm sorry, man. I'm just. It's just. I mean, like there are companies out there that you can support that don't do this. I'm just like giving you a list of the ones that do. So it's always depressing. It's always depressing when you learn about this stuff, but it's less depressing when you learn that there are alternatives. It's just, you have to figure out where they are and how to get to them, and if you can afford them and all that kind of stuff. And it's okay to only change in steps, but you have to do what you can. And if you can, afford to change, then it's good to do so.
Yeah, I mean, it's good info. It's just super depressing.
Well, this actually blew my mind because, I wouldn't think that this, I guess I was naive. It's like, it always surprises me how, just blatant companies are and skirting around the law, and how people just allow it to happen.
When you own the government, you can do what you want.
How there isn't any legislation or anybody trying to, put this to light. I mean,
and this is what pisses me off about Rachel Maddow. I mean, like, she's up there saying maybe this, maybe that. I don't know. It could be. But right now, we know for a fact that there are millions of people being exploited as slaves. And yet she says nothing? Like, what is going on in our world to where these people who have all this power to get the word out don't want, I mean, like, I don't care how much you pay somebody, how much, there's no.
Microsoft uses prison slaves to put Xboxes together. So if you play Xbox and doing the packaging and all that, and if you think that you can find another game, well, you're going to have to try the evil Sony Corporation because Nintendo also uses prison slaves to put their stuff together and distribute it within the United States.
iPhones.
So that's why when you get the console, it doesn't work right sometimes.
No, Nintendo doesn't work. Maybe Microsoft and Sony.
I have a question. Is there some kind of loophole that allows them to pay them the wages that they do?
Yeah,
I mean,
in the Constitution, it says that slavery is illegal unless you've been convicted of a felony.
Yeah, wasn't it the amendment that freed the slaves that created prison labor?
Yep, it was
Yeah.
the 13th Amendment. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like that woman's book she wrote. We living in a new Jim Crow state.
Oh, and it's not just AT&T that outsourced all of their call centers to prison slaves to fire
Verizon, isn't it?
Verizon did that too.
Yep.
Yeah,
I know about Verizon. Yeah.
Hey, you want to hear a new merger now? You remember the Food Network?
What's that?
It's a new merger going on right now with the Food Network, Animal Planet.
Oh shit.
Who else?
More consolidation.
Looking at it now. TLC. They merged with some company. And HGTV Network.
Maybe Bravo.
It's
probably CBS.
$8 billion deal.
Because I know CBS is trying for a lot of mergers right now.
I think they're going under
Viacom.
No, Discovery and
Vivendi.
Scripps. They declined to comment, but I don't know what they're going under. But that's what's happening.
I guess they don't obey the monopoly laws anymore. I guess you can throw that out the window.
Oh yeah, those have been gone for a while.
Well, Clinton killed that when he was in office. When he deregulated, that's when I started seeing my damn Verizon phone bill going up with all these different taxes. I'm like, what is these taxes? And I called them up. They said, "Oh, I don't know what that is." And I'm, what the hell you don't mean you don't know what it is?
My favorite one is the processing fee they charge, like a processing fee. They throw that on there too. On the bill, it's like a processing fee. What? I gotta pay you to send me a bill?
Yeah.
Service charge.
That's crazy.
You get service.
Yeah, CBS is probably the one that's going to buy them out and merger because I know that they're almost done with their merger with Viacom. So it turned the Big Six into the Big Five, and then they said that CBS wants to buy CNN or one of the other news networks.
Yeah, CNN's out pretty much. They're pretty much done. That was funny. Those ratings.
I thought AT&T wanted to buy CNN and Time Warner.
Well, they bought Time Warner, but Time Warner Cable, they bought Time Warner, and I think they might have CNN. Or no, let me think. There's Time Warner and there's Time Warner Cable. They're two separate.
Charter bought Time Warner, and now they were talking about AT&T buying them, but I don't think there's actually been a deal yet.
I think it's that AT&T bought Time Warner and Spectrum bought Time Warner Cable.
We don't need all these conglomerates together. It's just crazy. You really will be getting fake news.
One world.
And that damn Don Lemon, he needs to be taken off the fucking air. Because I think the past couple of New Years, that motherfucker been drunk on TV. He would have been fired if it was a true news station.
He just came on back. I don't even think he cares. He
wouldn't even have that job.
Yeah. Last year, I'm glad they fired Kathy Griffin because I'm like, what the hell they put her on there for? She always flipping and saying something crazy. And then Don Lemon on it last year, he all drunk, getting a piercing, and I forgot what else he did. I'm like, what the hell is going on with this station? This is not news.
All right, I got a question for you guys. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Shirley.
That's fine.
I was going to ask, how many of you guys like Pringles?
I don't eat Pringles.
Well, not anymore.
Well,
not after you get done with them.
Well,
what's wrong with Pringles?
My
Well,
wife had brain cancer, and Pringles was one of the few things she could eat
well, I guess that's okay,
because it
but
has no real potatoes in it.
yeah, and
It doesn't have
it's
real
I believe
potatoes in
Pringles
it.
are owned by Procter and Gamble, and so Procter and Gamble uses prison slave labor, and I believe that whatever they can Pringles, the cans are made in the prisons by prison slaves.
Yeah, the
Dude, I gotta say,
process removed so much of what's in the potato that what was left wasn't harmful to my wife, and she couldn't have potatoes because the potassium would accelerate the brain tumor growth.
Oh, it was just the potassium? It wasn't like the lectins or the solanine or anything?
No, just the potassium.
Oh, wow.
But there was a court case in the UK, and they had to disclose that they did so much to the potato they really didn't call it potatoes anymore, and the British courts agreed. And also, they were very helpful when I called and asked their nutritionist, and they have a nutritionist available to answer really in-depth questions for consumers. Like I said, I named what my wife couldn't have, whatever, all the things she couldn't have. And they said, well, we have 4 flavors of Pringles that she can eat. And they told me which 4 she could eat. And she really enjoyed having the snack. So for Pringles, I'm really grateful for that. I don't like other things, but at least they provided the service of answering my questions without charge. And I really appreciate it.
That's cool.
I buy Pringles
that's
every
cool.
once in a great while and use them instead of. I buy the fat-free and use them instead of corn chips with salsa, instead of Tostitos or whatever.
Right. Well, those things kind of rip the roof of my mouth off. So, it's just the texture of the Pringles that's odd.
That's what I like about them. They have a different texture.
I like
Right.
stone ground tortilla chips because they don't stick to your teeth the same way that the super processed ones do. Like I try to get non-GMO stone ground ones. Like they have, if you go, I don't know if there's a Rural King where any of you guys live, but where I live, there's a Rural King, and they sell a 5-pound box of tortilla chips it's 3 pounds for $5. Box of tortilla chips, and they're stone ground non-GMO, and they're pretty good, and they last a while if you can keep them fresh without getting stale.
Yeah, my once a year that I buy a can of Pringles, I don't think once every year or two. So a 5-pound bag or a 3-pound bag would probably last me like a decade. I'm not a big chip eater.
Yeah. Oh, here's a depressing one I just thought of is not only
Don't say chocolate. Chocolate out of this.
Well, they're just made by child slaves, not prison slaves.
Oh, well, that's better.
yeah, chocolate.
What did he just say?
That's why I want to talk the West Virginians into growing chocolate and coffee and black pepper.
Well, we could theoretically grow chocolate in the southern United States, but and without using the child slave labor, because all of the chocolate that we import from Africa is generally raised or grown using child slave labor.
Dude, I swear, if you say, hey, do you guys use Trojans? Well, don't do it.
Rubber mice are really cute creatures, and they have to extract it from them.
Well, here's one that won't surprise you. Okay, all of the Koch brothers companies, every single one, all of Koch Industries uses prison labor.
Do they own any prisons?
I don't know if they own prisons. I'm sure that they own shares in Corrections Corporation of America.
Yeah,
Didn't Obama visit and invited them? I'll never forget this. And he pissed me off this. He was working on a crime bill, and he said the Koch brothers gonna be on, and people was pissed. He said, "Oh, don't, Bill." And I think he actually did work with a crime bill with the Koch brothers. while he was
That
president.
wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me.
I'm like,
Really
this motherfucker is a Republican.
He switched in his second term. He switched like a friggin' light switch.
Ever since the beginning.
Yeah. Well, his second term, he really kicked into gear.
His first year, I was disappointed when I saw Geithner going in there, Sumner, and that's what turned me off. My husband like, well, give him a chance. I told my husband, I donated so much money to that man. He sent me an inauguration in the mail, which I didn't go to because the trains were sold out. But still, I'm like, he bamboozled me.
He's pretty slick. He's a slick puppet.
Talking about walking, working across the aisle.
He's working across the aisle, all right.
That didn't work. And
he serviced us.
Did you see Trump when Trump went in there? Trump signed all wrong executive orders so fucking fast, more than any other president.
Yep. Well, Obama was pretty fast and loose with the executive orders, so not that bad, but he was, he signed his fair share. Now I have a question for you, sir. How easy is it for companies to hide their association with ALEC? Because I just have a feeling that there are some people who are secretly still in ALEC and people don't know about it.
Well, you can check and see which companies are reviewing their ALEC membership online.
ALEC is a nasty company. Oh my God, it's a nasty company.
I don't know if you have an iPhone or not, but if you do, there's an app called Boycott, and you can scan products and see if their parent companies are part of ALEC. And then if they are, you can say online, like through this app, you can say that you're not buying this product forever now because of that fact. And you can say that, like, let's say, like, if you wanted to buy something from, I don't know, like a Coke Industries thing. Like if you wanted to buy something that they produced, you could scan the barcode, and then say you're not going to purchase it because it was because their company is a part of ALEC, and then it would post that on your social media, and it would tag the company and let them know that they just lost your business.
There's very few things that I would buy from them anyway, to be honest with you. I saw their products and I was like, nah. Anyway.
Well, that was just one example. There's a lot of different companies that are a part of these things, and they have a lot more causes than just ALEC on that app. Like you can also like if you're against animal testing or factory farming, or if you're against the dolphin slaughters over in Japan, or if you're against using prison slave labor like me, it'll tell you that. If you're against getting your chocolate from child slavery, it'll tell you if the corporation sources its chocolate from sources known to use child slavery. So. Yeah.
All right.
Did you guys hear that Netanyahu is being investigated for corruption with arms?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
What? Bibi is corrupt? What?
I hope they get him on it because I can't stand his ass.
Don't worry, he'll be the next vice president.
Oh God.
Wait, so you're telling me that the Israeli prime minister who is letting his government steal land from the Palestinians is corrupt? What?
And right now, the Israelis are fighting the Muslims right now.
Oh, yeah, nonstop.
On RT.
Yeah, Israel is bombing Assad's forces right now.
Yeah, they a sneaky country, and I don't know why our country is so friendly with them, because they try to do things to us.
It's because of all it's because of the religious zealots. Like they all think that they have this religious obligation to the holy, like this arbitrary holy land, because they all misinterpret the Bible, and they over designate this little piece of land as special. Like they think it's way more special than it is. And it's it's a really just a huge misunderstanding on their part when it comes to reading the Bible.
But my thing, I'm thinking they forgot about the Holocaust.
I think they're a front for the military-industrial complex. I think all that's a ruse, and that's for the military-industrial complex to keep selling weapons.
Yes, darling.
Yeah, I don't think any of these people are religious. I mean, look at the stuff they do. There's no way they even looked at the Bible, let alone read it or anything. I mean, there's no way. I mean, that like the Ten Commandments, like, are they even familiar with that? I mean, do not murder. I mean, come on.
Well, that's the thing is they read the Bible, but they pick and choose the stuff they want to believe. Here's something for you. Anytime anyone tells you that they think that homosexuality is a sin and they quote the Bible, and if you see them, if they're bald, if they don't have a beard, if they have a tattoo, if they're wearing clothes that are 50% polyester and 50% cotton, if they have acne, if they have scoliosis, if they're blind, if they're a midget, then tell them they're going to hell. Because if they believe that part of the Bible, that's the part of the Bible that says that all those people can't
really? Scoliosis is one of them? Oh, I'm definitely going to hell.
God
I'll see you there, Red.
I'm paraphrasing, of course, but God don't want no uglies is basically what Leviticus says.
Oh my God!
I'll buy you a drink down there. How's that?
That sounds good.
Yeah, I think Darley's been
I'll
trying
be in good company.
That's the thing. That's the thing about heaven. All the interesting people aren't there.
Yeah. And
heaven always sounded a little boring.
My thing is, truly, Russia is our friend. They warned the U.S. about those 2 Boston bombers before that happened, because it didn't have to happen. I think they wanted to happen. And someone is filming a movie in Russia right now about it's something about USS Liberty, our ship that was in the sea.
Yep, there's a movie coming out about it.
Yeah, and the Russians came up with their ship, and the U.S. said, you can't come on here. But the Russians was saving them because Israel wanted to bomb our ship.
They did, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there somebody that was trying to talk? I just saw something pop up on my thing here. Darley? Yeah, Darley. Were you trying to say something? Sorry. Guess
He's
not.
I think he left us.
Oh,
No, I'm still here.
dang. Oh.
Yeah.
You want to say something?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, did I have him on mute? I'm so sorry. I didn't do that. I don't know. I'm still new at doing the controls on here. I don't know.
No, it's
Make
not
sure
a deal.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. Go ahead. Anybody?
Way back about an hour ago, about the jobs that are, that we give people jobs instead of the universal pay. We actually kind of do that now. We have a lot of jobs that actually don't help the economy other than move cash, but actually we could change them to being productive. And one of them is the insurance industry, as well, the health insurance industry. Car insurance and house insurance would probably still be public, but the health insurance industry, we're basically just giving them jobs to give them jobs, and they're well-paying jobs, and they're jobs that deflect money away from things that people need. So I would rather see the insurance company people have to take some new jobs and let other people be productive.
I think they need to do both the guaranteed jobs and a universal basic income. I think both of them need to be done.
Well, and I'm probably going to be doing a story on this in the next couple of days. One of the first things you can do is forgive at least half of all student loan income or student loans, because I know that there was a story about all these private student loans that just disappeared, and billions of people or billions of dollars are going to be forgiven because these guys lost the paperwork. Well, who's it affecting? Is it really affecting anything? Is anything, are businesses going under? Is anything happening? I haven't heard of any negative effects. It's just people are ticked off that their student loan wasn't affected. So I think that would lift a tremendous burden off of a lot of people, including myself. I remember years ago, a couple of years ago, when Jill Stein first brought it up, I thought she was crazy. I thought it was like, this money is needed and the whole thing. And then I came online and I started to listen to, guys like Steve Grumbine and Jamal and all the rest of the real progressive guys. And I'm like, wait a minute, now it's starting to make sense. Now she's starting to make sense. So, that would be a start. And, if what they're saying, and I'm not talking about private student loans, I'm talking about the government loans. You just wipe those out, with a keystroke. And what's it going to hurt?
What we should do is we should have a nationwide jubilee of all debt, honestly, because historically, the only way debt really worked in a long-term scheme for a government was whenever they had jubilee every 7 years. So every 7 years, they would forgive everyone's debt and start over. And it was a working system historically, and it was a way to keep civilization going, because every time they got rid of that, civilization would collapse. And I feel like we're going to follow suit here very, very soon, because in the United States, we have all of this auto loan debt and student loan debt. And the thing is that you take all this money from the bank that the bank got from the government, and then you don't pay it back, but you still owe them money. And some debt collector will come and they'll buy your debt from the bank at pennies on the dollar. They'll buy it as a fraction of what it's worth. And then they'll come after you for the full amount. But yet you can't buy your debt for pennies on the dollar. It's like, it makes no sense.
Not only that,
it's like betting.
Not only that, like traffic tickets or something. And you don't pay that traffic ticket because you're so broke. And then you go, to prison or to jail for that, and you're trying to pay it off, and you can't pay it off because of the interest and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I saw that on John Oliver, but there's a difference. I mean, car loans and home loans, you have collateral there, especially with a student loan, especially these guys who went to colleges and got bamboozled, like, Trump University or DeVry or whatever. They didn't get a degree from an accredited college. They were scammed. Now I went to a college, and the college actually went bankrupt, but I got a degree. So that's different. At least I got a degree. These guys, they have no degree that can help them get a job, and they have, tons of student loan debt. And I've never heard of the Jubilee. And sounds cool to me. But a student loan debt is out of control.
The corporation
it's gonna,
they set it up that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Yeah, we can
They
thank
set it
Joe
up that
Biden for
way.
that. Joe Biden made sure that we couldn't declare bankruptcy on student loan debts.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
What
that's
they
the one thing that's like holding me back from going to school because I have some loans from like well, it used to be like something like 4,000 or 6,000, and now it's like doubled that now because of where I don't have the money to pay it. Now they're charging me more money because that makes freaking sense. So until I pay all that back, I can't go back to school. And I can't, if I don't go to school, how am I going to get a good job that's going to freaking be able to pay off the loan? I mean, it's insane. It's insane what they do. And how many other thousands or millions of other people are in the same situation as me? You know?
they got a whole generation in that situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, and now it's even worse because the way the interest works, like it used to be that after college, you paid off your principal, and then after you paid off your principal, you started to pay your interest off. And now you pay your interest while you're paying off your principal. So for the first like several
Yep.
and so it takes you forever to pay off the principal, and then that in turn that makes you pay more in interest. So it like doubles the bank's profit that they get from you.
Yep.
Yeah. And Amy
I'm
pointed
dealing with it
out,
now.
Amy pointed out there's really aren't very many good paying jobs anymore, which is totally true. I mean, I can't even tell you how many minimum wage jobs I worked with people with master's degrees and not masters, but what's the one underneath that? Bachelor's, yeah. Bachelor's degrees. I mean, like these were smart people, studied hard. I mean, I knew she had a master's, studied, got straight A's all throughout school, all throughout college. And you know where she's working? Kroger. That's where she's working, pushing buggies, because that's where it makes sense that she's doing that. You know, the whole thing is screwed.
Yeah, 90% of college students will be working in fields unrelated to their major because there won't be any paying jobs in their major.
Well, also it's pretty ironic. Every time I have to call Nelnet or Sally Mae or whoever, you know, I have to realize, you know, if I get like angry or whatever, I kind of lighten the mood and go, okay, well, you know, to the guy who I'm on the phone with, well, how much do you owe? And most of the time he's like, yeah, 20 grand, 30 grand, 50 grand, you know. The last person I talked to, she owed $80,000 to an art school. You know, it's like, I don't know. Free community college sounds cool to me. And my mother did it on the GI Bill, which was extremely smart. But, you know.
I mean, just think about that. You said $80,000 in debt. My first house, the one that I lost after I lost my job, that cost about $64,000. So her college debt was 20 grand more than what my house cost. That's insane. That's a house and a car. I mean, when you think about like that, it's like, damn, what are we paying for?
Oh yeah, there's all these kids that I go to school with. If they were to take out the same amount of money as a loan that they have to take out for college, they could have a house with that money. But the thing is, they can't do that because they have to quote build credit, and the system for building credit is skewed so that to build credit you have to take out student loans or get a credit card or get a
yeah. It's the only thing I gotta do to go to school.
Wow.
Imagine what medical students are paying here.
Hey, y'all.
There's so many kids that I graduated with this year that are going to have no future and no life because of their student loans. I mean, a lot of them just this year. I mean, like their first year of college is going to cost them $20,000, and that's per year. They're going to have to pay $20,000. I mean, that's $80,000 for 4 years, and a lot of them, you know, are going to different schools, which are even more expensive. So some of them are paying $30,000 a year. Some of the ones going to school in New York and Pennsylvania are paying $50,000 a year. I mean, that's $200,000 in just 4 years. I mean, how are they ever going to get out of that?
There's only one reason. there's only one reason that I'm actually gonna, get out of it. Well, other than the fact that, my wife and I kind of sort of come from money. We get inheritances every once in a while, but it's not that much. But the fact that I work for the Postal Service, I can take out thrift savings plan loans. So I take out a thrift savings plan loan every 5 years if I have to for $20,000. I pay back to myself with 2% interest back to myself instead of paying, 6% or 8% or 12% to somebody else, and I pay down my debt. That's the only way that I can do it. The only way.
In the car industry
So,
crash.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually at work. I'm about to fall asleep in the chair, but hey, Stevie, I'm still going to send you those questions. I just didn't get a chance to do it. When are you going to 88?
I'm leaving Friday morning.
Oh, okay. Listen, congratulations on doing that, and good luck. I'm sure I'm going to talk to. Well, I don't know if I'm going to talk to you guys on Thursday because I'm gonna be home early, but it's my wife's birthday, so I don't know. She might be going out anyway, and I'm probably I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but don't be too sad if you don't see me. And if I don't talk to you by then, Stevie, good luck to you. I hope you get a hell of a lot of good interviews. I'll get you some questions, and I'll hook you up. And I think I figured out with the Patreon too. I was trying to help you out a little bit on Patreon, especially since you said you were gonna look into a couple of stories for me. So but I think what I was doing is I was putting my bank card in instead of the account number into the Patreon because I was so friggin' tired. So
yeah, I'm still trying to figure out stuff with Patreon too. So yeah. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Did you get any more any bump up? Any more chances to supersize? Any more people? Well, any more chances to supersize your Big Mac? But any more people subscribe to you?
I haven't noticed. I haven't really been paying too much attention.
What's this?
Yeah. Patreon. She has a Patreon.
Oh, yeah. On Patreon, yeah, there's been a couple of people on there. Yeah. I think I'm up to 4 people now. Yeah. I'm in the big league now.
I haven't. Listen, I'm going to try to get 100 people before I get crazy. I mean, I just went from like 6 people to 25, so I'm ecstatic about that. So let me live off the high of that for a little while and see,
Is that for this channel? Is that a Patreon? Is that a Patreon for this channel?
No, it's Patreon for my solo channel.
For her channel.
I didn't realize you had a solo.
I know. No, the Fly does more promoting for me than I ever do. I never promote it.
Yeah, and in a couple of days, maybe you guys will actually see my face because Ebon helped me out. He hooked me up, so I gotta figure out how to work this stupid thing. But I don't know if that's good or bad.
Put a link in the chat.
But anyway, what's that?
Put a link in the chat. In the Ring Central chat here. Yeah.
I'll put it guys, I'm going to get ready to go. I have a doctor appointment in the morning. Since I'm up
I know
so
how
late,
you feel. I had one today. That's why I'm about to pass out.
I hope I don't wake up too late. But I'll talk to you guys tomorrow night.
All right. Good night, Shirley. Talk to you later.
Cheryl, take
Night,
it easy,
Independent.
Shirley.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right,
Night,
take it easy.
David. Night, Cheryl. Hey, I saw
Bye, guys.
half of the Strain episode so far, but then the show was starting, so I didn't see the whole thing, but I'm catching up. But have a good night, Cheryl.
All right, bye, guys.
Yeah, over there in the Ring Central chat, just post your link.
I just posted Independence, and I'll post mine.
Oh, you did it in the YouTube chat.
Oh, yeah. I don't have, I can't really use my phone right now because it's my camera. Kind of hard to type on there. Let's see.
If I had a channel, I'd probably just post cat videos.
All right, and this next one is for mine. That's the most you'll get out of me for promoting. So that's it. All right.
Hey, I gotta go too. It's getting late. I got a busy morning. Chat later.
Yeah. Oh, it is 3:30 in the morning.
Yep. Night, darling.
Night, darling.
All right.
Later.
Night.
All right. Anybody left in here?
I think it's
I'm
just
still here.
Okay.
Maybe cat videos with political commentary over them.
That'd be nice. A little good, a little bad.
Come for the cat videos, stay for the politics.
In this video, the cat represents the corporation while the mouse represents the people.
I like it. All right. I guess that should be where we end it. All right.
Well, I wanted to say one more thing before we end. They had I forget what the name of the topic, like what the name of the segment was, but on NPR a few weeks back, they had a professor from Oberlin College in Ohio on NPR, and they were interviewing him, and he was talking about because he's a professor, and he was talking about how, and he's been to like different colleges and was a professor at different colleges. And he was talking about what a disappointment modern day college is, because he was saying that back, I don't know if it was the 60s or 70s or 50s, but back like less than 100 years ago, they switched and went from having the boards of these colleges made up of teachers to having them made up of money people and like financial advisors and like CEOs and people that are designed to get the most money out of the schools as possible. And like corporations took over and all that kind of stuff. And he was saying that ever since then, that's when this whole idea of safe spaces in schools came from, because the corporations that want to make the most money possible never want to offend anybody, because that can cut into their profits, and all the rich parents won't want to send their kids to school there and pay the high tuitions. So that's the whole reason that they have this culture of never challenging anyone's ideas on college campuses now. And that's what this particular professor was so disappointed in, because he was saying that whenever he was young, you went to college to have your ideas challenged, and that was back in the 60s. Everyone went to have their ideas challenged and to learn new things. And now you go to have your preconceived notions reinforced and to yell at other people. And that's about it.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. And since you have like a mind for this stuff and kind of like a passion to research this, I bet you'd have a lot of fun researching WVU, West Virginia University, because there's layers of corruption in there. So yeah, but they're all like that.
There's some kids from my school that are going there this year. They graduated with me. So
you could see the #1 party school, but I guess they're slacking these days.
Yeah, they and Ohio University. I thought about going to Ohio University, but it was way too expensive. It's 21. Actually, it's 26 grand a year to go there.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
All
right.
If you include housing and books and everything, it's 26 grand a year.
Oh my God! Yeah, I mean, this was about it was about 8 years ago. I went to WVU, and it was $6,000 for room and board, and then with tuition. But I'm sure it's probably like double that now.
Yeah, it's all just so messed up now. I mean, like I was looking at going like, because I go to a branch to save money. Like that's where I've been going for post-secondary courses in high school, like taking college courses in high school. And then also this fall where I'm planning on going is Kent State Tuscarawas, the branch of Kent State College. And Kent State Maine's like their college is 10 grand for the tuition and another 10 grand for housing.
And they forced you to pay that. Like, I didn't want to, I mean, I would have just lived out of my car and went to school or whatever, but they forced you to pay that room and board. And that's what cost the chunk of the money that I spent was just for that. And I didn't even get to go, because where I was working and going to school, I didn't even get to go to the cafeteria to eat. So I was paying for something I never even used.
Yep, the first 2 years of room and board and the meal plan, because the meal plans at most colleges, if you're staying on a main campus, meal plans are required, and meal plans usually range from $3,000 to $5,000.
Extortion.
My first semester was $281. I think I paid about $150 a month in meal and room.
What year was this?
1979.
Oh, wow.
And people call my generation the lazy entitled one, and think that, and they yell at us and say that we're the problem.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, y'all are blowing my mind tonight. All this new information. I love it. Depressing, but good information.
Oh, well. Yeah. Bedtime.
All right.
So yeah, sorry to make you depressed with all the different industries that use prison labor. I left a few out that would make it even more depressing.
I'd rather know than not know, you know. So
yeah,
I don't want to give them any more money than I have to. You know, like every time I use electricity, my government gets richer, so I try not to use it. You know, try to avoid it when I can. So yeah, I appreciate it.
I will come out and give classes to your town in how to build your own solar panels.
Oh, God, I dream of the day that we are on alternative energy, renewable energy here, and where these coal companies don't get another cent of our money or our work, you know?
The silicon solar cells for 3 solar panels, which would be about a kilowatt, costs about $40.
Oh my God.
That's as far as the frame and the glass and whatever. It's actually really cheap if you assemble them yourself.
Snork, have you ever heard of Chris Martenson?
No.
Well, he's an economic scientist and researcher who has a podcast. It's on iTunes called Prospering Voices, and it's also on YouTube if you go on his channel, Chris Martenson, and it's Martenson like with an E, so like Martenson instead of Martin or Martin.
Danish.
Yeah, and he did a video, and they were talking about, and he's done several different videos lately about the economy and about energy, and like they were talking about how energy is going to get more expensive, and they did one talking about how stock prices are we're expecting to see stock price and asset price declines of 60 to 70% within a year, and how there's a 60% chance of recession within 18 months. And all that kind of stuff. And they were talking about how all of the shale oil companies and the shale fracking companies, they're losing money. They're taking all this money out in loans from the government and making all these investments that they're never ever going to make back. And we're getting all this oil and gas out of the ground that's never ever going to be burned, just so that a few CEOs can make a ton of money and run off with it when the economy collapses.
Yeah, like right now our electric is coal. So, and it's just like a 20-minute drive from my house. It's running on a coal-fired power plant. So not only are they poisoning everybody, but you know I have to pay an arm and a leg for electric before it eventually kills me. So I'm trying to get. That's my goal, is to get renewable energy into every home in West Virginia.
I'm working on a generator that works at night, and here in Iowa we have really wide swings in temperature, and we can actually store heat from the day and use it at night to generate heat in the winter, or not heat in the winter, but electricity in the winter.
Oh, hey Brian, I just saw that you joined in. I think we're getting ready to close it down, but it's good that you stopped by.
All right. Well, I think I better get to bed.
Yeah.
It's getting kind of late.
All right.
Bye.
Good night, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, night.
Night.
Let's see. How do I end this? Oh, I need Ebon help. I don't know how to do this. X end. Yeah, there we go. All right.